Jake here. Today we're going to make a silicone mold of this awesome maple burl so that we can make fake burls. Here we go. So we want to make a fake burl out of resin in the end of this. So what we need to do is, first thing is you need a unique burl. I get my burls from Worldwide Burl off of Instagram. I'll put a link below. They have auctions every day for people like me. We're a place where there's no trees, so I get mine off of Instagram from Worldwide Burl. So that's the first thing we need. I got this one, super unique. I cut it with the bandsaw on a circle cutting jig that I made. I'll put a link up there, and then I'm about to show you everything you need to do this. The first thing we're going to need is some way to seal this so the silicone doesn't stick to this, which I've already used some wrong silicone, so I've already learned the lesson. And there's another guy on Instagram called Eps Creations. He's the one that told me this trick. You use polyurethane first, give it a couple coats, and then use the mold release after that. And then I can at least try to get that off, and resin will stick to this. So mold release, polyurethane, and then so that'll seal this. So we want the silicone to come off instead of get stuck there and rip apart. We need something to make a mold out of. In this case, I'm going to use a PVC pipe. It's cut there, so this is already a ruined one, but I can make a mold out of it. This is a lid to some other silicone, and I'm going to do like this. I'm going to hot glue this down there, and then center that there, and try to get as center as I can, and hot glue around here, and that'll be our mold. The silicone we're going to use is Plat 25 from ALUMILITE. A couple things about silicone is you need to know how long you have to work with it, whether you need to degas it or not. And this stuff, we need to degas it. I've used other stuff in the past that you don't have to degas, but it's a little rigid for this project. This stuff, the lower the number, the more flimsy it is or pliable. The higher the number, the more rigid it is. We need a hot glue gun, and I use the long glue sticks, because when you're making molds and they have the little bitty sticks, you're going to be changing them out. So I use the long ones. That way I can usually complete a whole mold without changing sticks. We need something to mix our silicone in. We got a cup. This particular silicone needs to be degassed. So this is a kit I found off of Amazon. And I'll have links below to everything that I have up here. And this is a pretty cheap thing, but it came with the vacuum pump, came with vacuum chamber, all of this stuff that you see, easy to put together. So I think that's about all we need for this, so let's get started. I'm gonna seal this one because there's so many spikes on it and they're going in so many different directions. I've seen it, Zach Higgins did one not too long ago where he didn't do it. He didn't put any of this stuff on here, and it was really hard to get out, but it worked anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and seal mine and see how that works. So I'm gonna come over here and you'll see me spray it. I'm going to make a full instructional video on how to degas silicone. So I'm basically just going to skim over it right now. I'll probably play some music and get through it, but there will be a full tutorial video, and when it's up, I'll put it up there. What we need to know about this silicone is we have 35 minutes to mess with it before we're done. The other thing is silicone sticks to silicone, so I'm going to purposefully not make enough for the first one, and probably several tries, because one reason is you don't want to put all your silicone in there. If this is leaking, then it's gonna all leak out, and then you're just out of there. So if you put a little bit in there, if it leaks, you kind of let it set up and then fix your leak and move on. The other thing is when you degas, it's gonna bubble up real high. So this is graduated to 10 right here, and then you have space above. So I'm going to fill to 2 on one part and then to 4 on the other part, and that should give us plenty of room for this stuff to bubble up. So you don't need to make a bunch. You don't need to try to hit it first try like you would resin. This stuff's very expensive, so if I have to do a bunch of little pours and then I finally get it right instead of one big one and then I have too much, I have some left over, that's irritating because this stuff, it really isn't cheap. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this stuff and degas it, and then I'll see you when we're ready to pour. Alright, so this has been a couple hours I guess since I poured this, and I can kind of poke it with a screwdriver without it. I mean, it's kind of set up. I'm pretty confident that that wood's not going to float up anymore. So I'm going to take this off of here. As far as the cast goes, I'm worried about it not being set in there level, like if something's too close to the sides or whatever. But I can add silicone to the sides of it if it needs more. So I'm not worried about that. It's staying put. It's pretty set up, it's pretty gooey. So I'm going to do another batch of this, but I don't think I need to do that much. So I'm gonna go half of that. It took me 3 tries to get this right, but I don't think I wasted any silicone, so that's a plus. And I got to play around with degassing, so that was a lot of fun. I'll be back in 24 hours to demold this, and then we'll go on from there. There we go. It's been about 24 hours. It's really cold. It's time to get this thing demolded, and hopefully I won't have too much trouble. Here we go. You can see when this burl popped up, it cocked over a little bit. So now it already was thin around here. So now I'm thinking, I don't know if I need to add some more silicone around here just to be safe or not. I kind of think I do. So I think I'll make the decision right now. I'm going to make another mold, put a little bit more silicone around here, and then just demold this, and I'll save you all that. It'll be the same as what just happened. So we'll get this demolded. Next thing you know, we'll be pouring resin into this thing. So I ended up fixing this. I cut where it was crooked. I cut it off the top, set it down flat, got a new mold, put some more silicone in it. And here we are, so I'm just gonna go demold this right now and then take the wood out of it, and then we'll have to wait till it warms up to pour it, but I'm gonna do this right now. I think what I want to do is try to make my blank look like a real piece of wood. That's pretty challenging considering I don't have anything that colored. This is kind of close, so I'm going to darken it up or lighten it up with these. This is antique gold and chocolate. I have black pearl, and I'm gonna put some of this powders down in here so some of it can settle in the points of the mold, and then it'll hopefully look like that. And we'll find out together if it works or not. Where I cut this, I'm gonna put this back around it, put a rubber band around there. ALUMILITE Clear Slow is what I'm gonna be using. If you like that stuff, Jake 10 at checkout. I got a coupon code down there. It takes 12 minutes. You weigh it by weight, not volume, and you have to have a pressure pot. So let's just get to it. That is pretty cool, but I know what I did wrong, so I'm gonna do it again because one, it's fun, and then two, I really want this. If I did without this black, it would look pretty cool. So I'm gonna do it again, but I'm gonna save you that, and I'm just gonna show you. Although there's still a little bit too much black, but you get the idea. All I did on this one was I put a little bit of black in there and then blew it out with a hose. I don't think I need black at all, really. And if I do put maybe a toothpick or something and put it down in the individual ones like this that you want them to be black. But look at the detail in there. It is fantastic. It's way too much black, but it's still cool. So I'm really pleased with the results of the mold. All the details are in there. It was pretty easy to get out of the mold, and that's what I was looking for. I have a box of broken up silicone from the last type of stuff that I tried to use. Get the right stuff, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The Plat 25 was perfect for that. I poured with ALUMILITE Clear Slow. The next one I do is just going to be an experiment, and it's going to be with the deep pour stuff from ALUMILITE. I just got this stuff. The weather's just now good enough to use it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that after this video's done, so stay tuned for that one. I did a degassing silicone video also along with this one, so it's already in the cards, and it'll be at the end of the video, so go check that stuff out. A couple of things to note. When this burl floated up, when I was doing it in the silicone, I had to cut some of the silicone off. Well, I cut some of it off, and when I went to re-pour it, I was a little bit short. I didn't want to mix any more of this stuff, so I cut the stuff up and I shoved it down in there. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't even see where it's at in there, so just something to know. This stuff is not cheap, so if you can use it, use it. Try not to waste it. If you haven't messed with silicone before and you're gonna try this, I would suggest doing something a little bit smaller because this stuff is expensive. This, and the resin's not cheap either. That was a 1,700 gram pour, and I did it twice, so this is all going towards a bigger project, so this is worth it to me, but it might not be worth it to you to do something this big unless it's gonna be something pretty cool. But if you're doing little trinkets and stuff like that, or that have a highly detailed, this is the right stuff. I can't wait to use this stuff. Stay tuned for this big project. It's going to be a big giveaway, a big YouTube milestone giveaway. So stay tuned for that. This is the first step of it. I'm going to keep on going. Follow me on Instagram, and I do the stories on there and I detail exactly how I fix stuff like this, and I mess stuff up a lot. So go to Instagram, follow me over there, and I guess that's about it. Jake Tennant checkout at ALUMILITE. Get you 10% off your first order, and then you can use the link after that to help me out. So we'll see you next time, and y'all be good.